discuss parenting.
My kid is a bit older now. When he was younger, it was a bit more stressful, but now we kind of work with each other.
My name is Ugo. Thank you for bringing up this topic. So I'm a single mother.
And even hand the mic over to allies who are men and fathers, creating better outcome for child and maternal practices. Join Zaynab Fridays, 12:15 p.m. on 99.3 Nigeria Info on Maternity Line Show, an all-encompassing medium for every woman, mothers and intending mothers. Be a part of conversations that are
Lagos is back. Speakers join conversation on 90.3 Nigeria. So I am Zaynab, my sincerest apologies, Lagos. I hate to do this, but sometimes I can't help it. So please forgive me. I'm on my knees, literally. Yes, of course, it's been a conversation. Celebration, commemoration of one significant day or another on the Maternity Line show lately. 2 weeks ago, it was about the boy child, the young female child. Last week, we got the attention of special needs children who were on the show. And guess what? Today, it appears we are continuing in that trajectory because we are having a conversation on an issue that affects girls and adolescents. This discussion is crucial because no girl or no woman deserves to miss the classroom, or deserves to feel ashamed for being a woman, right? Sadly, this is the reality of over 30 million Nigerian women and girls, as once noted by former Minister of Women Affairs, that's Pauline Talley. Right. So first and foremost, thanks to all kids, parents, and guardians, and also my child minders who turned up for the Kids Fair Children's Day Festival last week. It was such a colorful event last Sunday, and this is why we are having another conversation, particularly because at the same event I discovered my guest on the show today. She's live in the studio with me. I bet you're curious to know, right? I know. Do stick around. You're going to find out. But I know those of you watching online already must have seen her because we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube right now. If you're online or if you're not online yet, just simply search Nigeria Info 99.3. And parents, remember to be a part of this show because it's all about you. Remember something I always tell you on this show. I am the class captain for giveaway. When it comes to giveaways, I am on that table. And I don't do that for myself alone. I do it for the benefit of every one of you. Women, girls, women, please be a part of this show. Now, let me introduce my guest, that gorgeous woman that you watched vibing on stage while distributing sanitary pads to, a number of teenage girls during the Kids FM festival. Now, let me blow your mind. This woman, that delectable woman on that stage that day in pink, white, vibing and all, she's a seasoned professional ending period poverty in Nigeria because that's why Bill leads in 25 years. She's making profound, significant impact in the world of maternal health through safe and hygienic means, helping women and girls to manage their menstrual periods. And this is a big deal for me. So women like this, I like to show them off. So she's live. Nice to have you on the show, Mrs. Faluyi. Mrs. Joan Faluyi.
Thank you so much.
Please
for having me.
Yeah, please move closer to the microphone. Okay, please say that again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. So Lagos, you just heard a voice. I will just delve into that conversation straight away. Now, I think I would love to start with the story. I didn't plan to do that, but it's happening right now. Okay. At some point in my life, this is the first time of telling maternity liners, I've had to live with, one of my aunts who was very nice, caring, and I wasn't that confident enough to speak to her the moment I started seeing my period. Such a very caring woman. I didn't tell her I didn't have that confidence to approach her for the sanitary towels because when I started my menstrual period, it was at the time my mother wasn't around. She's not even in Nigeria at all. So on this night or midnight, I just felt something. I've been and then I woke up. I just stood up and went to. I used to sleep in a room so well. So I just went to our own room, my room and my cousin's room, to go and get a piece of cloth because I wasn't confident enough to speak to my aunt that this was happening. Lagos, you're hearing this live and direct on Maternity Line. Now, in my head, it comes to my subconsciousness. Sometimes, like, there are several other girls out there. Though she caught me, and she asked me, why didn't you tell me you've started seeing your menstrual period? You should have told me in order to get you prepared well for all of this. And she used to ask me, to be very honest. So, I just looked down. I couldn't look at her straight in the eyes. And she was like, okay, you know what? Come back to the room. And she tutored me on how to go about it. Now, we have several other girls out there. I understand that using a piece of cloth to pack yourself for menstrual period could lead to infection.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have millions of other girls and women out there who are incapacitated in terms of finance to get themselves comfortable in this context. Now, I'm tempted to ask you, how well or poor do you think Nigeria is managing menstrual health and hygiene for women and girls? Do you know some of the challenges affecting menstrual hygiene management in this part of the world?
Well, the economy generally is not laughing at a lot of people, so it's making everything worse. And it got even worse during COVID. A lot of people were out of jobs, fathers, mothers, sales were down. So you can imagine they had no access to menstrual health care. How much more food eating was a problem then, where you have to weigh food against other necessity, and very sure food always comes up the chart.
Right.
So when it comes to taking care of menstrual health care, about statistics says that 37 million Nigerian women have no access to sanitary towels. And it's very, very poor. A lot of them use very unhealthy things like rags, toilet roll. I heard sand in a nylon punching. I heard leaves. I've heard gory stories. I've heard families sharing rags. The mother would nominate a wrapper, and that's what the girls in the house will use. They all take turns in using that. So it's really very bad because it affects the woman. People don't really realize that there's a correlation between seeing your period problems and giving birth in future. They don't pair those together until it's time to give birth to children, and you cannot. And they now said, but have you been seeing your period regularly? And said, no, I haven't. What have you done about it all these years? Nothing until that time. Then you now have to go through the process, through the rigor, through the pains and suffering, trying to fix many years of problems. So it's really a problem. It's a very big problem. You'll be amazed how many of your classmates, how many of your workmates are not.
Menstrual hygiene can lead to health complications, just like Mrs. Joan Faluyi said. Health complications could be infertility, infections, because you are not doing it the right way, and if not properly managed, it's a very serious health challenge for every woman and every girl growing into women. Right now, to be a part of conversation, before we move ahead, 0201 277 0993 0201 277 1993 0201 277 2993 0201 277 3993. You can as well drop your message on WhatsApp. The numbers to drop the message is 0809 597 5805. WhatsApp only. Now, there is this attitude by the way, Mrs. Joan Faluyi, she's the CEO of Blossom Flow Foundation, and that foundation has been catering. I read one of the story that inspired inspired establishing this foundation?
Yes.
You had visited the male correctional
Okay, that's
center.
another story. But what
Oh,
actually
wow.
started the foundation was one of my trips to the supermarkets. As a matter of fact, it was Abana supermarket, and I was there, and I saw this girl looking very roughed up, and something just says, go to this child and find out. She should be about 14, 15 years old. So I approached this girl. What's the problem? Why are you looking so harassed? She said she doesn't have enough money. She's on a period and needs to buy sanitary pad. I looked at her. She had a little stain as well. I said, oh dear. Oh, come with me. We went to the aisle. I said, take as much as you can. She took that. We went to the till. We paid for it, and she couldn't stop saying thank you. So it got me thinking. I go home. I said, then I have daughters that will be asking a tall order. They'll say, we want the ones with double wings, extra that, giving all kinds of specification on sanitary pad. And that's a child that cannot afford sanitary pad. What if she falls in the wrong hands?
Right.
What if something bad happens to her? We've managed to give her X amount of months of sanitary pad. After that, what next? So that's prompted me to say, you know what, maybe I should come in and step into this space and see how many girls. I can't probably help everybody, but let me see how many girls I can touch their lives, at least one person at a time.
Yes, I love that. I love the attitude towards, or the belief that menstruation is a secret and unclean experience, and that sort of still makes uninformed women and girls shy.
Yes.
Quote and unquote uninformed women
Yes.
and girls. How do we stop women and girls feeling afraid or doubtful when it comes to managing?
You know,
the
that's
period?
very, very interesting. You'll be amazed that it's both informed and uninformed women that have period shame. Like I was in an outreach and I was talking to the girls, and I said, if you're ashamed of seeing your period, raise up your hands. Nobody did, because nobody thought they were ashamed of seeing their period. So and I said, who has gone to buy sanitary pad in the supermarket or store, corner store, wherever? They raised up their hand. They say, yes, they've gone. And how many of you asked for a black nylon bag?
Right. I remember that line at the event. too.
You see, so everybody has a particular shame, and they didn't realize that they were ashamed without knowing the society gives you that shame of seeing your period. Like I was discussing with a friend of mine, and she was saying that when a baby comes into the house, everybody's talking about sanitary towel. Everybody's talking about diapers. Everybody's talking about diapers. But when the mother or daughter is seeing the period, nobody's talking about sanitary towels. It's not a subject. So we have to make it a subject. We have to say, period. I'm on my period. So that people understand, our significant others will be able to, our brothers, our fathers will be able to go into that mode and know it's something we should talk about.
I know.
If you are ashamed of buying your sanitary towels and putting it in a black nylon bag, how do you want the men to feel?
How do you even want to let the men know that I'm a woman?
Exactly.
And a very proud woman. indeed.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So the community actually promotes a lot of shame to this thing. A lot of communities, girls are required to stay outside during their period, or women, until when they are finished in their period, they can come into the family back again.
Right.
You know, a lot of people, people laugh at you if you have a period stain. I remember a story I read about of a girl in Malawi, or Uganda, and she was in class and she stained herself. And then the teacher now asked her a question to stand up to come to the board and solve an equation. She said she'd rather be punished than actually. The teacher was so upset that she was disobeying him. She did not still summon the courage to tell the teacher that, look, I'm in my period and I cannot stand up because I am stained.
Right.
So you can imagine.
Please, we need to go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Lagos, please stay here. We'll be back. Also, it's your maternity line. You are free to start dropping your messages. I saw a couple of messages earlier on. This one is coming from Denya. Wow. Daya is messaging from Lekki. He says, "Good afternoon, Zaynab. There is something I have noticed about you on Maternity Line, which I must give a kudos for. When it comes to issues that have to do with women or girls especially, you are not just focusing on women because it's Maternity Line, but the way you speak passionately about girls, it's something to take away for me." Oh, there. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it's Maternity Line. It should be all encompassing. All right, all encompassing. Please stay listening in. All right. So, Lagos, the numbers to call 0201-277-0993, 0201-277-1993, 0201-277 2993, 0201-277-3993, 0809-597-5805 is where to drop your message your messages on WhatsApp. I have a caller. Good afternoon, Nigeria Info. Oh wow. Hey, Rain, I beg you, no spoil show for us. So please keep trying. 0201-277 0993. Just keep adding 1993, 2993, 3993. That's the number. All right. So let's continue with our conversation. Now, menstruating schoolgirls in Nigeria are faced with many challenges, which also, affects their ability to manage their menstruation in a dignified and hygienic way. Any words of encouragement? I've seen this play out when we were in secondary school. A friend of mine, on that day, I could picture the whole event. I could picture the old cardigan, the sweater, and how other classes were just, looking, what's wrong with her? Why is she on the spot? Why is she not moving? I see this. It happens a lot in the secondary school.
Yes.
So, what is the word of encouragement that you would give, especially to young girls, because there are many challenges being faced in this context.
Yes, they should be brave and bold. They should understand that seeing their period is not something to be ashamed about. It's something to be proud about. It's a significant to a milestone of your journey of womanhood. Because without that period, you cannot have a family if that's what your intention is in the long run. So no matter the situation you find yourself in, take it, be positive. Just have that mental set that it's only going to be temporary. If we don't reach out to you, we just hope that fate happens to make it better. Do not allow it to stop you. Although some people do have very crippling pain that even painkillers cannot resolve, find your way to a hospital, to your local pharmacy, just to make sure you're able to do your school work or your office work. Do not let your period stop you. A woman will see her period in a total lifetime 2,500 times.
Wow.
It's a lot of times. Yes, an average of 3 months in a year. It's a lot of downtime, but we should just know that if we go down, we should come back up. Go down, come back up. That's it.
I would love for us to touch on the sachetization of, sanitary pads. I was going to say diapers. Of course, even diapers are now packaged in a way to make it more affordable or considered convenient. As much as I would love for us to talk about it, whether that is a good move, I would also love for us to talk about how people could be a part of the Blossom Foundation. But I need to go on a short break. When I come back, we'll talk about that. Thank you so much. Lagos, please stay here. We'll be right back.
Fest 2024 is powered by Femi and the Gang and Football Republic. Proudly refreshed by Pepsi.
Supported by Indomie, Credpal, and Apex Network.
Ladies and gentlemen,
boys and girls, introducing the first of its kind in Nigeria.
The first radio just for kids. It's here at 101.7 Kids FM.
Are you serious?
Oh, yes.
It's going to be fun for kids on your airwaves 24/7.
Talking about from exciting games
Check.
to juicy gist,
Double check.
and great music.
Super check.
Oh All these and more on your number one PlayStation 101.7 Kids FM.
Don't be the last to join the train. Download the Kids FM app on your iOS or Play Store today and stay tuned on the go.
You can stream on our website at kidsfm.ng.
You can also follow us on all socials at kidsfm.ng and stand a chance to be one of the super kids.
On 101.7 Kids FM. Remember, it's no dull moments on Kids FM.
So tune in and stay locked on 101.7 Kids FM.
Let's play.
All right, Lagos, it's back to maternity line. I saw that somebody was trying to call while we're on break. 0201 277 0993 1993 2993 3993 number 0809 597 5805. Okay, so more to talk about on this subject, but we are almost out of time. Omolaja from Aguda is messaging. I think ladies need to be very cautious about hygiene during the menstrual period. There should be serious enlightenment, most especially at the secondary school education level. Intentional campaign, Omolaja says on WhatsApp. Who else? Okay, so I have this very important question. How can we make organizations and governments make sanitary towels or sanitary pads or sanitary products accessible to girls, young girls and women?
That's a very key question. Like, do they make toilet roll available in toilets? Yes. If you go to most toilets, there are toilet roll there. So why can't they have pad dispensers in public toilets? Why can't they have pad dispensers in school? Why can't they have pad dispensers in companies? If you have pad dispensers, people be able to have access to sanitary towel and nobody will have to do without. So you can imagine you are in your office, you don't have any sanitary towel and you now need one. Do you leave workplace to go across to buy one? Or what happens to you? But if you can go down to your bathroom and you have a pad dispenser, you pick one and use one. That's a way everybody. So even if you do not want to run a foundation as a company, have a pad dispenser in your bathroom. Then you have advocated for period poverty.
If this is the only way, the only thing we are taking away from maternity line today, I think that makes it for me. Somebody's calling. They just cut off. I love this part that you just mentioned, and it's very, very genuine. It's very crucial. But let's
outreaches. We need volunteers, and you can go to our website at Blossom. We need crowds of for that big. Don't pick a bank. 2005 is all you need to help a girl. If you have a neighbor, give the neighbor a sanitary pad. It will just help a girl be her peace of mind.
Okay, so thank you so much. Remember, you did some distribution, some free sanitary pads at the event the other day. Are we looking to give a number to maternity liners too today?
Don't worry, we have you guys in mind, definitely. So you could promise we could do something. Yes, we have. We always love giving anyway. So.
Okay, then we'll bring you back to come and give on maternity line.
Thank you, with a promise.
All right, thank you so much, Lagos. I see your messages, your calls too. I couldn't pick, but thank you so much for doing this. Yvonne Haifo is already in the studio for 1 o'clock news. Mrs. Faluyi, Mrs. Joan Faluyi, CEO, founder, Blossom Flow Foundation. Thank you so much for spending your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Lagos, stay here. We'll be right back.
The news update on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info, you're listening to the news update. This hour, President Bola Tinubu is urging
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for